The late 80s and early 90s was a golden age for stand-up comedy.
Oh man. Hey, y'all know how we do. Black people, we get a job. Supposed to be there at 8 a.m. Don't get there at 12:30.
And during the boom came a generation of black comedy nurtured by talent showcases like Showtime at the Apollo, Def Comedy Jam, and BET's Comic View.
And then y'all be talking about, y'all want a 2-hour lunch break. Talking about, oh boss, I gotta run some errands, I gotta go pick up my kids. You ain't got no errands. You sure ain't got no goddamn job. And you sure as hell don't need to talk about no kids, because you know you ain't paying that child support.
And hidden among the biggest stars of the age, Bernie Mac, Chris Rock, Robin Harris, scores of club comics enjoyed modest success, such as comedian Michael Ross, who goes by the stage name Jiss Mike.
And let's talk about white people. My white people, they get a job, they're supposed to be there at 8 a.m. They be there at 6:30. You know what I mean? And that's after the 10-mile jog. You know, I grew up listening to people that listen to the greats. Pryor, Mons, Red Fox. You know, I would see their sets and I'd be like, man, I want to do that. I just wasn't good enough.
So you never personally listened to Pryor?
Never listened to him. I mean, back then I was too young and we didn't have YouTube.
So what aspect of his comedy drew you in?
He said a lot. That shit had me dying. White people also be talking about there's 4 major food groups. Talking about, you know, fruits and vegetables and shit. I know, yeah. Black people, we do. We eat fruit as well. Grape Kool-Aid. But every now and then a comedian will come up to me and say, go see Bill Powell. Talk to Bill Powell. You want to get your comedy game up? Ask Bill Powell.
And Bill Powell is?
Man, Bill Powell, the #1 black comedy ghostwriter in the 90s.
As we explored the height of the 90s comedy, his name would come up over and over again. But to the public at large, he was an unknown. So, you're the Bill Powell?
Yep, the Bill Powell.
And you wrote jokes for comedians throughout the 90s?
That I did.
Tell me, Mr. Powell, how'd you get your start?
Well, I started out as a stand-up comedian myself. I did my first open mic in 1982 in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
And did you find success?
Here's the deal. I was really big on the local circuit, but my jokes were a little too blue to ever really break out.
In rare footage, we got a glimpse of Powell's early days of comedy, playing small southern towns to packed all-white rooms.
And white people, us, we take care of our kids. Kid wants to learn to read, they buy him a book. You know how they do it. They tell him, you ain't gotta learn to read to steal hubcaps.
After watching hours and hours of Powell's stand-up, I soon realized that what he'd stumbled on was a controversial yet incredibly effective formula. White people do everything right, and black people do everything wrong. It was a simple stanza around which entire HBO specials could be built. So your jokes were a little out there.
I had my audience. They were loyal, but I could never really cross over the way Larry the Cable Guy or Jeff Foxworthy eventually did in the 90s.
So what did you do?
In 1988, this friend of mine gave me a tape of Eddie Murphy in concert. Now, I thought he was funny, but all I can think is, why can he say the N-word and I can't?
And that's what you thought comedy was? The N-word?
Tell me how it ain't. In 1990, I sold a tape of my 10-minute set to this young Negro comedian calling himself Little Luther for $25. By 1992, I was selling 15-minute sets for $2,000 to 100 coloreds.
We tracked down famed comedian Luther Barnes, known to most as Little Luther, in his Hollywood apartment.
What can I say about Bill Powell? He changed my life.
And how did you come to know Bill?
I was a road comic in 1989, struggling. I did a show in Shreveport, And this white comedian, Dickie Prince, he came up to me mad, talking about he did a show in Pine Bluff 3 days ago and saw this racist comedian.
Bill Powell?
Bill Powell. So I asked Dickie, well, what exactly did he say? Dickie said that Bill got on stage and said, white people have twins, they born by the same woman. But when N-words have twins, they born on 2 different coasts.
And how did you react to that?
I busted out laughing. Yo, the next day I was headed to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I offered this man money to write my material.
And you think that changed your career?
Hell yeah. I went from doing 10 minutes at some backwoods bar in Missouri for gas money to HBO's Def Comedy Jam in 2 years. And then in 1995, UPN gave me my own TV series called Baby Mama's Drama. And then in 2000, I started this movie called The USS Ghetto.
Wow.
Bill Powell.
Bill Powell. Some say he's an innovator, others say he's a straight-up white supremacist. Either way, his influence on the comedic landscape is undeniable.